The Museum Roadshow is brought to you by 125 Apparel.
Hi, I'm Kathy Coyle, volunteer with the Becker County Museum. I'm at Rolog at the Western Minnesota Steam Threshers reunion because I want to find out what it was like way back when women were doing such beautiful work in their homes. And I found Gloria Beck, who lives in rural Frazee and Monaga on the farm, and she feels more comfortable in her authentic kind of pioneer dress. Is that what it is, Gloria?
Right.
Yeah.
Old-fashioned dresses. We all try to wear them here.
Yeah, but I just barged in on the day before the excitement begins here at Rolog and talked you into talking to me. So I'm twisting your arm, Gloria. So tell me about Brazilian embroidery.
Brazilian embroidery is a dimensional embroidery. Some of the stitches that are used were stitches that they used years ago, but as you can see, all this work is raised. And we use a rayon thread. This Brazilian embroidery started in the late 1800s, and the reason they call it Brazilian is because the thread was first made in Brazil. Other countries make it, I think United States and England.
I wondered how it found the farm by Frazee and Monaga.
Because I admire embroidered things.
Yeah.
And I took some lessons from a gal named Jean Mann over when Nordic Needle used to have their station over there. And there's different weights and hefts, and this one here is called Lola, and this one here is an iris. As you can see here, and this is a frost, and this is called Glory, and this is a buccal. This buccal, you will see, the bird nest is made out of buccal.
Okay.
And other things that I have made, and got many things at home I give all my stuff to my relatives or people who I think know how much time it takes to do these, but I really enjoy this.
Well, some of the items that are behind you, and Raina will get a closer picture of it later, how much time would it take to do such a beautiful, delicate job with the roses and the purple roses, the roses, the hummingbird, all sorts of things that you have displayed here?
I wish I knew.
Oh, you lost time. You lost track of time?
You can do that when you're traveling also, or if you're in a hotel or something overnight, you can sit and do that. There is a right and a wrong to this thread. I know I'll take this item from you, but if you can feel it go back and forth on it, this way and that way, you see there's a smooth end and there's a rough end. And the first thing we do with this thread when we are going to use it, believe it or not, we stretch it. I can even show you if we have the time here.
Now, did you do this when you were younger?
No, I didn't. The first thing I did here was dish out ice cream, and then I went to with Estelle Thielen, and I made caramel rolls. Not us two alone, but
here at Rolog. But when you were growing up, did somebody that you admired do embroidery?
Mother did embroidery, and I have a daughter that does embroidery by hand, and I also have a granddaughter, and you can see it stretch. Can you see it stretch? And you have to get the stretch out of it otherwise you're going to have a mess. A mess, yes.
Okay, well, I'm going to find out what your counterpart has going on over here, too. because there's more to the women's exhibit over here at Rolog. And can you tell me your name again?
Dorothy Rossman.
And Dorothy, you live by Lake Park?
Yes, out in the country.
Out in the country. So what is your machine about? That looks like it's been around the block for a while.
Yes, this is a knitting machine. And you were wondering when they were, people say, well, I've never heard of such a thing. It probably isn't very old. Knitting machines were invented about 500 years ago when a fellow decided that his wife was spending too much time knitting socks and stuff like that by hand. So he invented a machine for her. But do you know what happened? Now he saw her even less because things went faster and she got more done.
Oh, and maybe she had her own business.
Well, could have been, but that's 500 years ago, so we'll see.
Yeah. But you're going to demonstrate this, not this very moment, but here at the show.
Right. And this one is a punch card machine. This one came out in 1983, about the year that I started selling knitting machines. And it has what we call a punch card. A lot of people will think of that as one of the older types of computer cards, which is what it is. And you can just about do anything you want, and it goes fast. If you look at the garments in the back, like there's a Norwegian sweater back. I've made a lot of the Dale of Norway sweaters on the knitting machine.
Really?
Yeah.
I was in Norway this summer, so I know what you're talking about when you say Dale sweaters.
Yes. So I used a different machine for some of them because they have large patterns, but now our machines are computerized. So we use a program on a computer, and we knit from the computer. So it's really advanced. But in 35 years, things do change. So
how did you get hooked on all of this?
Well,
did you get involved when you were younger?
No, I got involved when I was 40. My daughters were going off to college. What am I going to do?
Yeah.
And then my sister, who had a knitting machine, said, you might enjoy this. So we found a used one from a lady over by Frazee and bought that for $100. And she stayed with me until about 2:30 in the morning that night. And we tried to knit on it. We had a lot of parts we had to find, but we did get it going. I used it for a month, and then I bought a machine that had a card in it like this in 1983. So anyway, and then it's history from there. Like my husband said, well, if you're going to buy that machine, are you going to be able to make money off of it? And I said, I'll make as much money off of it as you make off those 5 snowmobiles that are in the machine shed. But it has turned into a business.
It has.
Yeah, so I have a website, and it's custom knits and manufacturing, and been going at that for 30-some years.
Dorothy Rossman.
Yeah.
You're missing an S in your name, though. Otherwise,
No.
you'd have a school named after you in Detroit
Right.
Lakes.
No, there's a lot of friction about that in the family.
Yeah.
They say it should be Roseman. In fact, even my husband's brother calls himself Roseman now.
Oh.
But we in Minnesota are Rossmans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what does it mean to you when you're in a building like this and you have heritage items and that sort of thing? You're sharing history with people.
Right. Well, I don't know. It's just fun to see what these ladies are doing and what is done. I never even knew about Brazilian embroidery until I came here. And what got me hooked was coming here and seeing a sock knitting machine, which we do have sock knitting machines here too. And I saw that and I thought, gee, that sure sounds interesting. So I was already looking at things like that. So
Should I warn your husband?
no, he already knows.
He might have to trade in one of those snowmobiles for a
Well,
sock
we've since
mending.
had to get out of the snowmobiles.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
got too old.
Well, Raina Zima, our photographer here, and I arrived in, I think, a 1917 Model T.
Oh, good.
Patrick Hill gave us a ride over here. So that was a real treat today.
Yes, that is fun.
Have you ridden in a Model T?
I have not, but we had an old pickup in our machine shed, and my husband offered it to one of our kids, and our middle daughter and husband took it on, and they redid it, and I think it's a Model A pickup, and it looks gorgeous.
Oh, I bet it does. We'll have to see that sometime. A lot of good stories out here at Rolog. This is Kathy Coyle reporting for the Becker County Museum Roadshow.
Thank you for watching this episode of the Museum Roadshow, brought to you by 125 Apparel.